there was an incident where the NASA presidential candidate, Raila Odinga, was in attendance of the Madaraka Day national celebrations at the Kafiroini ASK showground, and he was not acknowledged. That has been talked about by Kenyans a lot, especially on social media. He was not given. Obviously, it was a national celebration, and it has its own protocols and all that, but it was not acknowledged, and people thought, or NASA supporters have been thinking that the Jubilee or the president ought to have acknowledged his presence. What is your take on this?
I think the Right Honorable Raila Odinga threw a bait, and apparently Jubilee decided to swallow it, hook, line, and sinker. Because from where I sit, I mean, you cannot not communicate. There's a principle that says that communication is, you cannot run away from communication. And Raila Odinga knew that the only thing I need to do is to show up. Whatever they do is a win-win for me. If they acknowledge me, it's a good thing for me. Because you remember in 2002, actually, Raila was celebrated in Nyeri more than any other foreigner has ever been celebrated in Nyeri when he went with President Kibaki. For the simple reason that he said Kibaki Tosh, and they were calling him Jamba. The other day I heard Moses Kuria say that he was young then, now he's old. He should not even be welcomed in Nyeri. But I think the unfortunate thing is this is a national celebration, and it was an opportunity for leaders who are contesting in the coming general election to show people that this is not a personal contest. This is a contest on how we are going to address national issues. So the fact that he was not even given, an opportunity to even wave to the crowd is a big dent on the credibility of the competitive nature of the Jubilee ticket.
What is your take on that issue?
Yeah, there are two issues that I would want to talk about concerning that particular incident.
Did Jubilee enhance Raila Odinga's popularity in that particular
that has
region?
been yes, of course. I want to agree with him on that. If I was the person who sat to decide on how to handle that, I would have insisted on him being acknowledged and getting a chance to wave. I don't know about speaking, and I want to say why I'm not very sure about whether he should have been given a chance to speak. First, this was a national event, a state event. And going by what has been happening in the past, I think it is only during the Grand Coalition government that we used to have the president, the deputy, and the prime minister speak in the official program. If you remember, during Moi's time, there was no room for opposition. During Kibaki's time, during his second term, also his first term, there was also no room for opposition to speak in such functions. I just want us to be objective so that we don't, unfairly condemn Jubilee. Then came the second term of Kibaki, where there was a grand coalition. Then the protocol, of course, changed because government was 50-50. So there used to be the prime minister, then the deputy, the vice president Kalonzo, then Kibaki. Now we came back to a government that is not a coalition government. And they've been doing their thing like it used to be done, that it is just a government function, and so there is official protocol, only that they factored in devolution. So the governors were brought in to at least introduce the deputy president in recognition of the devolved governments. But now the problem is that even having done that, in Nyeri, for instance, what happened in Nyeri was that the governor, unfortunately, because I don't want to talk about the people below him, but for him, because of his stature, he should have known that he has gotten a chance to host a national event. Unfortunately, he localized a national event. And I'm saying that as a Jubilee because it had a very bad effect on Jubilee politically. First, it made the rest of the country feel isolated. Because that was a national event. All of us were, including me who supports Jubilee. I was like, what's this? What's all this? Then secondly, during the last Mashujaa Day, I want to talk about whether Raila should have been given a chance to speak or not. During the last Mashujaa Day, one thing you have to give Jubilee is that they have demystified the presidency. They've made it not as, strict and tight like it used to be. During Mashujaa Day, it was in Machakos, if you remember. One of the things that happened is that Kalonzo Musyoka, unfortunately, for a person of his stature, went for that function late. That notwithstanding, the deputy president acknowledged him and gave him a chance to speak. I don't know whether you people remember what he spoke. It was not in tune with Mashujaa Day. He politicked. He even started giving the president those who have defected from Wiper to Jubilee and nimekupatia hao. That he lacked a sense of. Let me finish what I'm saying.
So
he lacked a sense. I want to explain to you.
Jubilee learned
Thank
from
you.
that?
That's what I want to explain to
All
you.
right,
That
all right.
probably they had such concerns that last time we went out of our way to show courtesy, this guy abused it.
Fair enough.
He went
Fair
political.
enough. All right, all
So
right.
probably that was the concern, but that does not mean they should not have. Thank you very much. Acknowledged his presence
his presence
and given him a chance to win.
What's your take on